it is time for a TBR video for the Summer Romance Book Bingo, TBR number 2. Hey everyone, it is Shannon, and I'm super excited to be here today and to share with you the second set of books that I plan on reading for Summer Romance Book Bingo. If you're unfamiliar with Summer Romance Book Bingo, it is a challenge that is created and hosted by Sarah of Not Just Romance Novels and Sissy of the Romance Queen of BookTube, and I will leave links to their channel and where you can get a bingo card and the Goodreads group for the challenge below. And it has been so much fun already. It is a summer-long challenge. It started at the beginning of June and goes to the end of August. And it's actually, I didn't realize it, but it's pretty awesome to be doing my second TBR for this today because it's the summer solstice. So happy summer solstice to all that are celebrating, and that just, you know, summer, I think it's interesting how we see the different seasons and how we feel the different seasons, but today is officially the first day of summer, even though, especially in Toronto, it can feel like summer as early as mid-May. This year's been a bit mild, but, you know, which has been nice. But anyway, so now I'm all over the place. So, and how I am doing Summer Romance Book Bingo is I'm going for a blackout, so I'm going for all 25 categories, or 25 squares. Did I say that there were squares and there was 25 challenges? I'm not sure. How it works is you get a bingo card, and I printed mine off, and I covered up the first 4 rows, and in my first TBR video, I revealed my TBR for the bottom row, and as you can see, I have 3 hearts, so I've read 3 books, and I'm almost done my 4th book, and that felt like good timing for creating another TBR video, so here we are doing that. And so I did reveal to myself this 4th row, and I will reveal the categories one by one, and the books that I plan to read on this, and this will also include an unwrapping. Yes, I got a book from my shelf that I know what it is, and I know that it fits under the categories, so we will be unwrapping that later this video. But first up, let's get to the first category, my second TBR. Lots of numbers, lots of numbers. And that is a novel that takes place in a country that you don't live in. I think I already mentioned I'm Canadian and I live in Canada, so pretty much any romance novel is not set here. In fact, if you know of any Canadian set romances, I would love to read them. I always think there's lots of opportunity, there's different events, we have lots of weather, there are lots of, you know, there's lots of fun romantic stuff and places and locations and all that stuff. Like, seriously, how come there's not a romance set during, like, the Calgary Stampede, or the Canadian National Exhibition, or, I don't know, like, there's so many things. Or in Prince Edward Island, on Prince Edward Island, seriously, there should be. Anyway, well, I guess some of the Anne of Green Gables might count for that, but that's not what I'm talking about. I decided to go, so it would have been, like, there are lots of, this was pretty wide open for me, but the one that I settled on was 5,000 kilometers per second, and this is by Manuele Fior, and it is a graphic novel. Yes, a romance graphic novel. I found it on Hoopla, and I just clicked romance and just scrolled through stuff, and this is one that's actually been on my wish list, or my, I don't know, you put a heart. I don't know if it's a wish list on Hoopla, but yeah, so this is one that came up under romance. I wanted to read it for a while. It is set in Italy, Norway, and Egypt, according to the description, and I think it's going to be a lot of fun. It's done in watercolors and looks gorgeous. It's all good. All of that feels good to me, and I feel like there was one more thing I was going to say about it. It is also, and I double-checked Goodreads, and it is listed as romance on the side, so it fits the category, so it is going to be the one that I read. So yay! This is one of the other reasons I like to do TBRs over time, is I try and look in different places for the books that I'm going to choose. So yeah, so this is a big find. I really hope I like it. And the next category is a romance novel published in 2018. This was a little more challenging than I expected, because initially I wanted to pick books that I had either already purchased or books that were later in series, and I wasn't having much luck with the categories that came up on row 2, but that's okay. It's totally fine. So I just headed over to the Harlequin website and just was like, you know, they've published tons of stuff this year. In fact, the entire Dare line, any of the titles are going to be 2018 because it was only created this year. So if you need something for this category, that's a good place to go if you like racier titles. I actually decided to go with Kept by the Viking by Gina, Conkle, and this is part of Carina Press, which is one of their imprints. They tend to do stuff that's a little bit racier, a little bit shorter, a little bit more out there. Like they have like some science fiction and stuff like that. And it's the only Harlequins I've seen that actually has male-male romances in it. But Carina Press has. They might have maybe in some of their other lines. Not sure, but I know for sure that Carina Press does. This one is a Viking historical romance, and I love Viking romances. I really do. I have read quite a lot of them, but I haven't read any recently, and I read a short story by Gina Conkle last year or the year before in an anthology of Viking and Valkyrie historical fiction romances. So I was like, I would like to read more. And so this one came out, I think, in May, and it is the first in a new series called The Forgotten Sons, which is great because, you know, we all need to be starting more series, right? All good. It's all good. At least it's the only one released, so I will be up to date as soon as I finish it. So I am looking forward to it. Let me know if you read any Viking romances. It's not something I hear a lot of people talk about, and it's definitely a subgenre that I enjoy, so I am really looking forward to it. I picked it up with my Harlequin points, and can't wait to check it out. All right, next category, the subgenre of inspirational or sweet romance. And I want to say thank you again to Sarah for expanding this category. It was initially inspirational romance, but now it also includes a sweet romance. So inspirational is things like the love-inspired line in Harlequin, Christian romance, and then sweet is ones that are very sweet. So the heartwarming line, things that don't have any adult content. And I actually decided to go that route with sweet romance, and I picked out Under the Boardwalk by Amie Denman. This is the first in the Starlight Point Stories series. It's a tongue twister. And this is part of the heartwarming line, and I'm actually really looking forward to this one. I knew ahead of time, I remembered that this category was one of the bingo categories, and I'm like, I am going to read Under the Boardwalk. I think I've seen it on a couple of people's TBRs, and yeah, so I am really looking forward to it. It looks very summery. I don't tend to do seasonal reading, but I don't mind doing it. I just don't navigate towards that. But yeah, so I'll be curious to check this out. I hope it is a lot of fun. So yay, Under the Boardwalk. All right, next one is romance with a one-word title. This one was a bit challenging. I like looked through my spreadsheet of all my Kindle titles, and I did pick out a couple, but then I kept on wanting to do the not start too many new series, and I've already started 2 new series here, so I decided to go with the standalone. And this I picked up from my local used bookstore place in the neighborhood, and I didn't do a haul because I only picked up a couple of things, but one of those things was this gem, Betrayed by Janice Kaiser, and this is a Harlequin temptation, and it is back in October 2000, not even 2000, 1993. 1993. So this looks suspensey. I don't know if it is supernatural. I don't think so. I do like supernatural stuff, but I think this is just regular betrayal. So, but the creepy big house looks kind of spooky, so we shall see. I think it looks glorious, and it's nice to have a couple of, this one's a bit of a shorter one, not many, I don't think any of the ones I picked were huge. Well, one might be, but yeah, so, but it's nice because I often, the historicals or the nocturnes, they tend to be sort of more closer to the 300-page line, and this is just over 200 pages, so I can definitely get behind that, and I am looking forward to it. Betrayal. I don't know if I've read it Temptations. With the older Harlequin lines, I don't. The new ones I have a pretty strong like knowledge of, and I always want to read one from each of the categories, but with the older ones, I don't. Wow, it was $2.99 when it came out. $2.99. Editor's choice. Well, if the editors say so. So, okay. So that is my one-word title choice. And last but not least is a book with over 10,000 ratings on Goodreads, or reviews on Goodreads. And I had something picked out, but then I realized it had 10,000 ratings, not reviews. And I know that this category has been stumping people a little bit, and it stumped me. I was a little surprised about that, but then I realized I had something wrapped up that would work out. So here we go with the unwrapping. So it is a bit of a larger one. It is pink because it is romance. And I know what it is, and I've been trying to find this book all year. I've been trying to find this one, and if you haven't seen any of my unwrapping videos, I'll link a playlist up above there. It's all my owned unread books. I wrap up color coordinated by genre. So let's see what this is, and this is definitely a book with over 10,000 pages. I had to double check, but it's extremely popular and kind of contentious. Let's see how quickly people can figure out what it is. It's sort of the back. Yep, we're going there. We're going there. 50 Shades Freed by E.L. James. I know this is definitely not a popular series, especially since the whole thing of it has been out for done and, you know, for such a long time. But I do want to finish the series. I did read them because I love book to film adaptations. So I do read a lot of book to film adaptations because I like to read it and then watch the movie. That's just the way it is. And I've read the first 2 books and watched the first 2 films, and this one came out this year, and I just want to get her done. Like, I just want to get her done. And I did read 50 Shades Darker last year, and, like, it wasn't great, but I just read it as melodramatic, and that made it a lot more fun to read. Because it's more of a romantic suspense. If you are in any way happen to be unfamiliar, these are erotica, romance erotica that came out a couple of years ago, or 2011, I think they all came out. So everyone knows the series. Everyone knows the series. So anyway, I've had this on my shelf for a long time. I've been following the series since, like, I had my book to film podcast. Actually, probably when my book to film podcast was still a Twilight podcast. I think me and Marina were following it then. So it has been a long journey, and I am going to see it to the end. I am a completist, and I am going to do it. So this is 575 pages. So this is a long one, but I want to get it done, and then I'm going to watch the movie, and then I will be complete. So that is my 5th book for that. Now, I think I showed earlier that how my progress was so far. So I have read 3 novels, and I've almost done the 4th novel. And when I finish the 4th, or maybe the 5th, I am going to do a wrap-up talking about the books. I have been talking about them during my Friday Reads video, but I thought they deserved, and it would be fun to do their own wrap-up. So if there's any particular thing that you'd like to hear in a wrap-up, let me know. I definitely am going to talk about, generally what I liked and didn't like about the book, but I don't know if people want star ratings, or, I don't know, heat levels, or how racy something is, or stuff like that. I'm not quite sure. I think I will try and include whether or not I think it would fit any of the other categories. I think that would be helpful. But yeah, I guess mostly star ratings and heat level are the 2 things that I'm not sure whether they are of interest, so let me know. I don't usually talk about star ratings. Usually my enthusiasm, I think, reads on if I liked the book. And they're on Goodreads too. So yeah, so those are the 5 books that I plan on reading. I felt like there was one more thing. Oh, one more thing was I did have trouble. One of the categories last time with a romance featuring a musician, I struck out twice on my choices. One just wasn't a good fit. My second choice wasn't really running to, and then the third choice is This Song Will Save Your Life by Leila Sales. So this is involving a musician. One of the characters is a DJ, so I hope that's close enough. Music is definitely the central theme, and it is listed as romance. And the other reason I decided to do this TBR now is that I have this on request from my library, but I don't have it yet. So once I finish my current book, I need to get to the next book. So there you go. So that is a little update on where I'm at already, and all of the books that I plan on reading, including 2 print books, 2 ebooks, and 1 graphic novel. That feels like a good, nice roundabout thing for me. So let me know if you are playing along with Romance Book Bingo. Are you going for a blackout? All of the things, what you like to see in reviews and wrap-ups, star ratings, heat level. those are the two things I really want to know whether or not it would be helpful to include them. So there you go. I hope you had an awesome summer solstice, and let the summer begin. June, happy days, all the good stuff. So, all right, thank you so much for watching.